Hi. Hello there, all you BC WrestlePod nerds out there. And welcome to another episode of Dual Dynasty, your weekly WWE review show here on the BC WrestlePod Network Syndicate Conglomeration. Thingamabob, we do everything single day of the week, including Thursdays for the next foreseeable future. I am one of your Dual Dynasty hosts, Mikey. Joining me this week is the Kilt Man. Hi, Kilt.
You come to me on the day of fathers to ask me to review things with you. I see this as a favor that the family will have to repay. Based on the conversation we just had. All right. So hi. I'm tired. I want to go home.
You are home, but yes. I'm not gonna lie, BC WrestlePod family. This one's gonna be an up and down one, a mostly down one, but we're gonna get through this really quickly because WWE had me questioning a lot of things this week. The women's division is actually pretty decent, but I don't know what we're doing with the men's division, and it's kind of crazy. I was hoping that the Raw and SmackDown after Money in the Bank would be different, but immediately, now that we're done with Money in the Bank, they're just like, let's build up to Night of Champions in like 3 weeks. So I was like, oh boy, strap in, kids, because it's going to be a wild ride. But before we get into all of that, first and foremost, I do need to shout out homie to the channel, Nick, who is already watching us at the very beginning. Hello, Nick. We love you over here at BC WrestlePod. Thank you for tuning in. You're probably going to disagree with a lot of our comments, but that is okay. No, just kidding. Love you. But
yeah, I totally love you, Nick. Yeah, you didn't say hi to anybody else but Mikey, but yeah, hi, I love you.
Don't be bitter. It's okay.
I'm allowed to be bitter. It's Father's Day.
Oh my goodness. But before we get into all of that, a little bit of housekeeping, if you will. If you like what you see here, hi, whether it was the algorithm, your own choice, or you just randomly saw, who are these two nerds talking about WWE wrestling? I'm glad you found us either way. And you can help us out by growing our community by hitting that bell notification, hitting the subscribe button, or following us on Twitch. That would definitely help us out. But I understand that sometimes you cannot commit to a whole hour review. So if you still want to keep up to us and still be a part of the community, but in a bite-sized form, you can follow us on the social medias instead, because we got clips of the important stuff we talk about, kind of. We also do report cards for all of the weekly shows and the pay-per-views. Today, I just uploaded the report card for New Japan Wrestling's Dominion show, which happened this morning at 3 a.m. So that is the thing that happened. Thank gosh, I'm on summer break now. But on top of that, we also have some merchandise for you if you want to support us that way. We pretty much have merchandise for all of the review shows here at BC WrestlePod. That is for the weekly shows and the pay-per-view teams as well. And we also have dropped 3 different collections. The first one is our Hot Boy Summer Collection, which is our favorite little luchador mascot in his summer apparel. And he is repping the fun in the sun vibes of being at the beach. So if you want to express yourself, buying a tank top, a shirt, a bucket hat to rep at the beach, the poolside, in your house, at the cookout, at the quince, if you will. We are okay with all of that. But on top of that, we have 2 special collections that we dropped, especially at the beginning of this month of June. The first one is our Pride 2025 collection, the We Grapple with Pride collection, where you can support the LGBTQIA2 plus community, because now we are including our two-spirited Native American folks in this acronym as well. And all the merchandise that is in that collection, part of the proceeds of every item sold in that collection will be donated to charity. And that charity happens to be Point of Pride, which is a charity organization that offers assistance for trans health. Well, for trans health and, gender affirming care as well. So that is the charity that we are donating to. But on top of that, given the fact that most of everybody who watches us know that I and a couple of our other folks are in the state of lovely California. And if you haven't been on the news cycle or on the internet, well, good on you, because you kept your peace of mind. But without going into too much detail, there is lots of crazy things happening this week across the United States. And there may or may not be like war in some of the major metropolitan cities here in Southern California between, the government and, our cities here and all the stuff that's going here. So what better way than to fight back by honoring and donating money to organizations that we here at BC WrestlePod find well. So we recently just dropped our We Don't Tap Out collection, which is if you cannot protest in the streets, there are so many other ways that you can offer your support, like repping the clothing and going about it in a bold or incognito way, because I know some people do not have the health fortitude to be able to go out in the public in streets like this, but you can still support. So the We Don't Tap Out collection, the part of the proceeds for that collection will be donated to the California Immigration Youth Fund, which offers immigration assistance and immigration lawyers and financial assistance to children of immigrants being affected by all of this here in California as well. So all those merch links are in the comment section of this video and the link in the description below. But now that we've done all that, all right, let's get into the WWE because we got things that we need to talk about. So before we get into everything, it has been a crazy week for WWE. Like the professor and I talked about on Monday with our Money in the Bank review about, the reappearance of no longer R-Truth, but Ron Killings. That was a really fun surprise since I was there live. However, me and Professor talked about how we don't appreciate TKO and Triple H. Hunter, we're going to call you Hunter until you earn the moniker Triple H back for me, sir. Hunter basically lied to us.
No. Hunter or Triple H did not lie. It was Paul Levesque. Fuck you, Paul Levesque.
So Paul lied to us.
Heyman was right. He is the better Paul.
Be like, I was like, don't play in my face, sir. I'm not dumb. But the point being is that the backlash of not renewing R-Truth's contract was so severe that, everybody hijacked the shows and everything. And they're like, oh, this is not a great move. Let's backpedal, which I'm like, cool, but don't play in my face is all I'm having to say.
Hey, Nick Khan backpedaled so hard he had to get involved.
Yeah, because Ron was not taking any calls. And according to the outlets, it wasn't until Nick Khan stepped in and called R-Truth Ron personally to be like, hey, so about this. We're going to talk about Ron in a little bit, but yeah, so Money in the Bank was fun, but it was very safe. I don't know what we're doing now with, we'll just wait until we get to that segment. So let's just get into this because I have lots of questions and I'm very torn and angry about a certain person too. The implications of what this means, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But let's start with Monday Night Raw from this past Monday. We're going to kick things off with what kicked off the show, which is John Cena coming into the ring to cut a promo. And basically, he is doing the same thing that we've been seeing, which I've been loving. But now he kind of focuses it on Truth coming in and, using that to be a heel and say it's because you people are never satisfied with what you get, blah, blah, blah. And then he gets interrupted by CM Punk. So at first I was like, okay, this is cool. CM Punk basically calls out John Cena on his crap, basically tells him that he's being a hypocrite and that, you could be doing something crazy and fun and amazing in your final 19 dates, but you're being a whiny little baby about it. So I'm here to kind of step it up. And you know what? You don't deserve this. The fans don't deserve this. So I want to take that championship. And so John Cena says, okay, I will give you a championship match, but you're going to have, and John Cena puts Punk in a position where, hey, you know what? You want a championship match? I'll give you a championship match. However, it's going to be at Night of Champions, which is in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So if you want this match, you're going to have to go to Saudi Arabia, which then we find out later in the show that match is made official. So, okay. I'm torn with this one. Not about the match itself. I was like, we knew this match was going to be happening at some point this summer. That's not what I'm torn about. What I'm torn about is the fact of whether or not we are actually going to see CM Punk go to Saudi Arabia. Because on the one hand, we know that CM Punk has been down for the causes. He protects the dolls, as the kids say. Like, he is the man's man of being the voice for the voiceless, all that good stuff. On the other hand, I'm a little annoyed because I'm like, if he actually goes to Saudi Arabia, then I believe it was either Diamond Dallas Page or it was Ted DiBiase Sr. that said that everybody has a price, and that doesn't sit right with me. On the flip side of this, though, if Punk does go up to Saudi Arabia, the way that kind of got me through it the last time is because when Sammy went to Saudi Arabia, I felt the same way. But I gave Sammy a little bit of grace given the fact that, Sammy being the person that he is, he got to go for religious purposes and he got to do the things. Because that was the biggest thing, is because he wasn't going to go because of the atrocities, him and his people of his religion and all that stuff experienced with the history there. But then he finally went. So I was like, I'm willing to afford that same kind of grace to Punk, but I'm still a little conflicted. I don't. It doesn't make me feel good. However way I think about it. Kilt, what do you think?
No, I think it's still an amalgam of, oh God, why are we in this position? Now, the only thing I will say about Sammy going to Saudi, because that was the time when him and Kevin Owens were tag champions, and he was able to walk out and in Saudi or whatever, I think it's Farsi, say to the crowd their actual taglines, not taglines, but like their help me, I'm failing. Their announcements. They're basically he was the ring the intros. Thank you, in their language. And he was able to say it, he explained to the crowd, like, hey, now you can hear someone say it in your language. Here is so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. And not have to have either a translation or have knowledge of English. So I think that was a cool moment for Sammy, because, again, he spoke that language, which was great. Cool. Skipping forward. One thing I did like about this promo was how was the kindergartner who lost a T-ball. That was a good line. And then he followed up with, oh, wait, I know what you're trying to be. You're trying to be me because I won the belt and then I left. I'm like, is that a self-burn? That's a little bit of a self-burn if you ask me, but still, it was a good line. It was well delivered. And then immediately after this, we had Mr. Green Bag of Jeans, which you'll probably go to next. I'm sorry to skip ahead, but this is weird. And no matter which way you put it, Punk is kind of being a little hypocritical if he's going to Saudi, because he said he doesn't believe in kings. He doesn't like the stuff. Blah 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 blah. He was
part of in Chicago. He just like people were posting pictures. He was part of the protest yesterday. And I was like, I'm here for you because you've always been that guy, Punk. But going to Saudi is kind of crazy. But again, I'm willing to afford him a little bit of grace like I did with Sammy. I'm just like, it is what it is. It's the job. But I'm willing to, and it makes me sound like a hypocrite, I'm willing to forgive Punk a little bit more because of the fact that he has had years of being that guy to support the causes and the marginalized communities and all that stuff. So I'm willing to give him a little bit of grace, but yeah, I was just like, why does Night of Champions have to be in Saudi Arabia? But I mean, it's always been in Saudi for some reason the last couple of years, but I digress. And then, of course, we got reminded that Seth has the briefcase, so he can cash it at any time. And I'm just like, oh boy, here we go. I'm like, if they're trying to recreate the Heist of the Century Part 2, nobody cares. I don't care, at least. Mikey, as much as I love you, I want you to follow. No, I'm not going to Saudi Arabia. How dare you? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, neither would I. I have no desire to go to Saudi. Now, if you wanted me to go to Qatar, I might go to Qatar because
I've
been
there
there
are other
once before.
places in the area that might be cool, but no to Saudi. And I have stated this whole entire week, and I am going to reaffirm it here. We will be doing predictions for Night of Champion. I will be doing a report card for Night of Champions, but we will not be doing a formal review because Saudi Arabia gets none of my review airtime, especially after its treatment of women marginalized communities and religious affairs as well. So there is that. But I am also not going to like get mad or demean anybody who is going to, because like all of us here on the internet who do review wrestling for either a passion or a job or whatever, it's part of the territory. So I'm not going to knock people for doing it. It's just that we here at BC WrestlePod have made the decision that we're not going to, but we still are going to keep you guys informed and covered like we did last year where we gave the results in the report card. So, but yeah, Seth has the briefcase, reminds us that he can cash in on Cena and Punk anytime. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then we move on because then we get into our first match of the evening, which was Chad Gable versus AJ Styles, which seems like a random matchup out of nowhere. For all intents and purposes, Chad Gable is an MVP for me because he pulled double duty of being at Worlds Collide and then being in his, alter ego in Money in the Bank. So
I almost called it a fursona, but it's a luchasona.
Now, if he starts embellishing fur on that thing, then we can switch it to fursona.
Oh, please do that. Please do that. I would love it. It would make me. It would give more credence to our new scaly mystery iguana.
Oh Lord, that was the biggest person to walk besides the return of Ron Killing / Archer. Mr. Iguana being introduced to the world is great, and our unofficial co-host over at CMLL, Agent Lo-Fi, he is so happy that Mr. Iguana is getting all this recognition. So I'm afraid though, because as we've seen with WWE in the past, their comedic characters don't get treated or last very long. But anyways, that's besides the point. As far as this match goes, it's a pretty solid match. AJ and Chad are very good at what they do in the ring. AJ wins with a Styles Clash out of nowhere. I was like, okay, sure, fine. There's just like, all right, guys, you got like 8 minutes, make it work. And then they did. So AJ Styles beats Chad Gable. I have nothing more to say. This was a pretty standard opening bout. It's pretty solid. I like AJ and I like Chad. Cool. So this is where I was mad a little bit because we get the brackets for King and Queen of the Ring. So the winners of the respective King and Queen of the Ring not only get that tacky little crown, but they get a championship match of their choosing at SummerSlam. I was like, okay, this is how we can utilize King and Queen of the Ring like we did last year. So men's bracket, I was like, ooh, okay, there is a mystery opponent in the last Raw bracket. So I'm thinking, okay, it could be somebody new. It could be somebody getting called up from NXT. It could be returning, like Ilya Dragunov would be amazing here. I miss Ilya. Spoiler alert, we found out that the remaining person, because of what happened at the very end of the show, is going to be main event Jey Uso. And I'm just like, why? Why though? He doesn't need to be in here. Anyways, I digress. But what made me super mad, Kilt, is that in the women's bracket, no return, no surprise, no nada. They tell us that, oh, Asuka's returning, she's gonna be in here, and I'm like, how dare you not give me the fanfare she deserves? Like, what the flip?
It's literally like, oh, here you go. It was like, oh yeah, by the way, it. Don't say shit. You could have made her a mystery wrestler and then have her come out last and just had that crowd popping. It would have been so best. It would have been the greatest piece of storytelling you could have done for this. But no, you had to do it this way. I won't lie, I actually did skip through all these because it's like, okay, cool. Get me to the end. Let me see who wins. Because it's been this way for me where the writing's getting sloppy. They're focusing on who knows what type of storyline, and I'm getting bored of it.
I will say though, I'm more intrigued with the women, especially with the 3 matches we got this week and who is moving on to the semifinals. I'm more interested in that because it's not a lot of people that I saw or I feel like don't get used a lot. So, but the women have been putting on better qualifying matches than the men's, but we'll talk about it when we get there. In fact, let's start with our first Queen of the Ring qualifier here, because this is what we got. We got our first qualifier match. All these are fatal 4-ways. Our first Queen of the Ring qualifier is Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Kairi Sane, and Roxanne Perez. So prior to this, in the backstage segment, Roxanne and Liv agreed they would work together to keep Rhea out. So that told me that Kyrie was about to take this pin, which made me upset, but it is what it is. And you know what? This is a pretty solid match. I really enjoyed this. Liv and Roxanne do work together, but Roxanne ultimately is able to pin Kyrie after Liv and Rhea kind of go fighting on the outside on their own. And so moving on to the semifinals is Miss Roxanne Perez. So again, I thought this match was pretty solid. Poor Kyrie, I already knew was going to take the pin in all of this, but this was still pretty good. We're going to talk about great when we get to SmackDown, because I'm going to be so for real. I think the SmackDown Queen of the Ring qualifiers were so much funner and better. But this one was pretty solid.
I will rank these when we get down to SmackDown, the 4 qualifier matches. Let's just say the men are at the bottom. Always at the bottom. The men are always consistently underperforming. And I've said this before, their female counterparts. They are always the female counterpart, the female wrestlers are always outperforming everyone. And it is amazing. They're doing their best with their gimmicks. They're doing their best with their character roles. And, they're doing some, like, when, oh man, my brain farted on what her name is. She would always do TikToks with Damien. I can't remember.
Oh, Kaden Carter.
Kaden Carter. Yeah, whenever Kaden Carter would do TikToks, you'd see, there'd be backstage stuff with her. Like even with Maxine Dupree, she would do TikToks with the babes, and I'm like, that's great. Let's do stuff like that. Give yourself something. The only thing I've seen is Bronze Breaker eating lunch
and barking on my screen.
Yeah, basically, it's like
because I'm already not feeling this group anymore. Like it's already the writings on the wall for me. But we'll get there. We'll get.
It's the women will always outperform the men. But yeah, this was this was an okay match. I'm not overly happy with how it ended because again, as we said, you just had someone that was supposed to be that could have been a good comeback, a good pop, a good return, losing their first match.
Yeah, poor Asuka is gonna be on tomorrow, and I was like, you could have just kept it a mystery, and I would have been excited. But I'm still happy she's coming back. I will also say it doesn't. To me, I'm like, I knew Kyrie was going to take the pin, but she's beaten Raquel and she's beaten Liv already within the last couple of weeks too. So it's kind of weird in this situation, but it is what it is. Let's move on because we get this walk-in segment with like Nikki Bella here being back, and she's hugging Maxine and Natalia. Her and Io have a thing. And my whole question is that we're gonna get into you, Nikki, when we get to your promo in the ring. But I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, it's been 4 weeks. Why has Io not been on my screen? Why has she not been on television wrestling? Like, what is happening? Is there something we don't know? Like, what is going on, WWE? Why are you keeping Io off my television screen?
Well, okay. I will give you my answer, which is probably the correct answer, and that's creative doesn't know what the fuck to do with her.
Right. After Mania, I was just like, what is the problem, you guys? Like, you couldn't have done... Anyways. Shoot, have her fight people in NXT. Like, Io is down to fight anybody. Like, send her to... I don't know. Anywho. So, Nikki, we're going to talk about you later in the show because right now, I want to say I like this segment because Becky gets on this mic and she's talking about how she's won the championship, but she's upset that Lyra attacked her after the match. And so she calls Lyra out to get, a redo. And Lyra's like, all right, I'm here. Let's get this over with. And then, as they're having to stare off, Bayley comes in to attack Becky. And so this is essentially the starting point to start Becky versus Bayley, which I'm like, I'm here for this. You go, Bayley. I missed you. Also, if it is true that Paramore is doing your new entrance, I am also like 10 times even more in behind you. Like, Hayley Williams is God to me when it comes to female vocals. I don't care what anybody says.
No, I agree. And this whole segment was wonky as shit. It felt forced. You can see, like, when Lyra came out, she looked like she was
for Bayley to come out. Yeah.
Well, it looked like she was waiting for something to happen, and she was like about to cry, but trying to be angry at the same time, which I've seen my kid do multiple times this past week. It's seriously, it was like, okay, is she okay? Like, is she being pushed in a direction she really doesn't want to go and is unsure of how to really work it? There's something going weird. And I'm like, because then I've already seen, as I said, most of Raw was spoiled for me by the time, like,
you got to it, yeah.
Yeah, by the time Wednesday rolled around, because I scroll TikTok while I'm driving. Sorry, let me clarify. While I'm writing, because on Wednesday, it was Wednesday. That's like all of us went together. So I'm sitting there in the back seat, just next to my kid, going, "Yes, buddy, whatever you say." But no, it's like it was, and it's also while I'm waiting for him to fall asleep. Anywho, but it's like, okay, cool. Bailey's back. The hair's nice. I like the purple. The purple and white dichotomy is really good here.
On paper, Becky versus Bailey is going to be amazing. But
it's going to be fantastic. But it's a situation of
it's just like how we got Becky and Lyra to feud, like these weird starts. Now, granted, this is stemming because Becky took out Bailey, and Bailey was off of the Mania card to team with Lyra for the tag team titles, which we already discussed of how that was a poor decision, especially since they lost them like 24 hours later, which was wild. So we're setting up Bailey versus Becky. This is probably going to be the program leading into SummerSlam. So we'll see what happens with all of that. Our Ron Killings cut his hair and cuts this really great promo about how he's no longer going to be a joke. He's not going to be the hee ha ha. He's here to get payback, and he cut his dreads. So this was so good.
That was amazing. It was a great promo. And it's like, I was waiting for a heel turn to happen. I was waiting for it when Miz turned on him. I was waiting for it when Cena first put him through a table. Mm-hmm. I was waiting because he's an amazing wrestler. He's an amazing personality. He's really good at what he does. And it's not just me saying that because I love R-Truth as a character, and that's what I want to. If I were a wrestler, that's how I would want to be. But it's not. It's this guy came from a musical background, was brought in by one of the Samoans. I can't remember which one. It's probably Sika. I think that's what it was. So someone was getting. Sorry, I got distracted. I look up and there's like a little black dot, and I'm like, that's not supposed to be there. And he's done like his intros. His intro music is all stuff that he has done for the most part. Like me, I think he's maybe pulled in a couple other people, but he is literally like, I remember when he followed me on TikTok, I got super excited. I'm like, I sent you a text. I'm like, look at it. But no, it was.
I'm not even gonna lie.
It's so much. I'm so happy he's back and he's on his terms and he's able to do this because he's put on a phenomenal show.
Right.
Like this entire time since he's come back in the last week. It's like, oh, hell yes. He's basically taking, as Jacob Fatu would say, all gas, no brakes. And it's like, yes, get it. Drill it in. Let's go. I'm ready for Ron Killings. Let's get this truth out there. And there's a segment that I absolutely love that CM Punk says in SmackDown. So we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah, so I'm excited. Ron Killings is here. He's doing the things. I can't wait. We'll talk about it a little bit more when we get to SmackDown. But right now, okay, so I'm going to admit I was excited when we first got this group with it just being Seth and Braun. Cool. Bronson Reed is back. Awesome. Why are we not doing anything with Braun and Big Bronson Reed? Like, now they're just caricatures of themselves, and they're literally just the lackeys now. I'm like, what happened? Like, we were pushing Braun to the moon. Strowman, before being released, pushed Bronson to the top, and that was an awesome little feud they had before he got released. Now it's like, they lost the specialty of them, and it's kind of annoying.
It honestly, this screams Secret Harvest ripoff.
This, oh my gosh.
Am I wrong?
You are not. And that's why I'm so mad that you are not.
The only difference is Seth has a wise man. That's the only you give Chelsea a wise woman. Oh my god, that would be hilarious if Stephanie did that.
Put Chelsea in here would be crazy. But here's the problem.
No. Think about it. Sorry. I had to go off on this right because it gets me a little giddy. Yeah, throw Stephanie McMahon as the Paul Heyman for Chelsea Green and have her be her wise woman within her Secret Harvest. Oh my god, would that be amazingly funny? You would see me decked out in Secret Harvest shit. I would be ecstatic.
This faction, they need to start doing something more with Braun and Bronson, because now they just be losing because they the henchman, which means Seth is going to be protected. Literally, this is giving me bootleg Serpent Society from the Marvel comics. Like, this is exactly what this is. You cannot tell me Seth is wearing all green, like all this stuff.
Are you trying to say he's Temu Dr. Doom?
Yes.
Because that's what I see. I see the green and gold. He's either a member of Walmart Hydra or he's Temu Dr. Doom.
But like, I don't know what we're doing here. This is crazy. I love all three of these guys, and I love Paul Heyman, but we need to start figuring out what we're going to do. Because I thought we got a long time into Survivor Series, and I know that these three plus two other people are going to be involved in that Survivor Series thing, which is fine, and I'm cool with that. But that's in November. We got to get through SummerSlam. What do we got planned for all these people in SummerSlam? I'm like, ugh. Here, so Braun has his match next, which we're going to talk about now. This is the first men's King of the Ring qualifying tournament match, and albeit probably my favorite of all the men's one this week. We have Dominic Mysterio, Braun Breaker, or Braun's Breaker as we call him, Sami Zayn, the ultimate underdog, and El Penta, the Cero Miedo. I don't care what nobody says. Penta was awesome to watch at Money in the Bank.
I always love everything Penta does. He's an amazing. But first, I must sidestep for a moment and thank our new follower, your big boy. Please do me a favor, your big boy. Boop your dog's nose because I love your dog. Your big boy is a friend of mine from another World Tabletop RPG. He's in a Vampire the Masquerade game that they're doing over there. They just had their season finale last night, and I love him. I happen to notice he had a belt, and I'm like, oh, I want you to come hang out with us. And see all the things that we do over here. So I tagged him earlier, and I'm like, "Hi, buddy, I miss you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for tuning into our world of madness." But let's get into this match. So we got 3 King of the Ring qualifying matches. This was my favorite of the 3 this week, and I think that's because of the fact of the potential of where we were going, but who knows? So Dominic is getting destroyed, Penta doing Penta things, Braun destroying people, Sami being our underdog here. Towards the tail end of this, all chaos breaks loose. Dominic and Penta begin fighting. LA Knight takes out Braun Breaker, and Sami is able to get the win here, and Sami is moving on to the semifinals for the King of the Ring tournament. All is right in the world. My biggest hope is that the finals end up being Sami. There's a whole plethora of options here. Sami versus Cody would be fun. Sami versus Jay would be amazing because his best friends fighting. Sami versus anybody could potentially be fun, but Sami to me was the correct choice here. My second would have been Penta, but yeah.
I agree. Sami or Penta would have been great. Hopefully LA Knight is in another. I don't remember the whole entire schedule outside of the one that Cody was in, because my brain is mush. But the cool thing about it, like, I love Sami. Sami. Come on, like we have a lot of wrestlers that have, kind of more serious, more brooding, more the only way I can describe Sammy's entrance is it's super fucking hype, and I'm super excited he's here. Like, yeah, I get excited when everyone else is here, but it's like, yeah, let's have a party. It's just so energetic and jovial, and I love it, and I love Sammy.
Well, now, I think the other thing too is that we're all rooting for Sammy because unlike his friend Kevin Owens, Sammy has yet to win one of the main titles. And my conspiracy theory is that Sammy wins King of the Ring. He will face Gunther at SummerSlam, and I think Sammy's walking away as the World Heavyweight Champion at SummerSlam. That's my hope.
I would love that.
And then
go ahead.
The other half of that is Sammy wins, but then because it would be such a compelling story for him to not only get one over on Gunther, but to get one over on Seth, is that Seth cashes in, takes it from Sammy, but then Sammy gets it back at like Survivor Series or something.
I think that, and I think another cool pit would be the only reason Seth is able to cash in on Sammy and win is because KO happens to come back, which I know is an impossibility right now because of his neck injury. But KO comes in and fucks up the match, and then
somebody messes it up for Sammy, yeah. Well, in this case, it would probably be Bronson and Braun Breaker, so they would cause mayhem, which would allow Seth to win. And Sammy's like, "You couldn't beat me in a fair fight, so I want the rematch." And that would be fun. But who knows? WWE makes questionable choices, and like the professor says here all the time, if it makes sense, they probably won't do it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But this was probably my favorite of the 3 men's matches of the week. We move on because AJ is not happy. AJ is tired of Paul Heyman getting in his ear, so he's going to talk to some people. And then the New Day continue to find reasons as to why they're not going to defend these tag team championships. I was like, I forgot y'all boys were having it. I forgot y'all were holding on to it. So,
oh my God, I keep forgetting how ego tripping they are right now.
It's wild, and I love it. And I'm just like, why are they not on my television more?
Again, remember, it's because creative doesn't know what they're doing half the time. And it's like with Karrion Kross, because we missed something. We did miss something in this. Sammy, oh wait, is it later than this or was it before? Because I remember seeing Sammy and Karrion Kross having a conversation backstage.
I think it was later or like after this and before like what the next segment we're going to talk about, but Sammy and Karrion Kross going at it was fun to watch.
I want them to do more with Karrion. Please do more with Karrion Kross. Oh my God, he deserves it. He is such a good personality. As my ears decided they want to die on me. I get to, hey, you got a low battery notice in my headphone. I'm like, damn it. But no, it's New Day doing this ego stuff. I understand what they're doing with it. I understand what they're trying to do. It is a little grinding on my gears, and I'm like, okay, cool. They're great. They're great.
On my TV screen. I think that's the problem I'm having. Is that even these backstage segments are far and few between right now with them. So hopefully we'll see. Literally, you have the Wyatt Six about to destroy the rest of the SmackDown tag team division, and that's so interesting. I'm here for that. We're gonna talk about that when we get to SmackDown. But I'm like, the Raw tag team division is struggling right now.
I mean, they always struggle. The SmackDown is the stronger division because there's more of them. There's more to do there. And the SmackDown writers are actually doing their jobs.
Yeah, whoever's either writing, booking, and all the other things for the SmackDown tag team division is like, that's kind of great. We're going to talk about them in a little bit because right now we get this promo from Nikki Bella, who basically tells us that, she's hyping up Evolution 2, which I'm excited for. We're going to be doing a watch along and a review in July. It's going to be a busy WWE weekend for some of the WWE boys. But then Liv Morgan comes out and she basically throws a tantrum telling Nikki that why she didn't include her in typing up these women. They get into a verbal scuttle and Liv Morgan hits an oblivion on Nikki for her troubles. I'm like, this is totally setting up a tag team match. And we're either going to get Nikki and like one of the women's legends versus Liv and Raquel. Or for a one-off thing, I think we're getting the Bella Twins versus Liv and Raquel at Evolution 2. So yeah, this is the setup Evolution 2 because WWE has too many pay-per-views coming up in the next couple of weeks. So we got to start. We're spreading ourselves kind of thin. So
it's like we don't know what to do with all these PLEs and pay-per-views that we have. We're going to add more and not do anything with them. I mean, sloppily write something for it, but okay, here you go.
Whatever. We move on because the writing was on the wall. I'm still not happy about it, but damn, this was actually a really good fight between these two. For the World Heavyweight Championship, it is our main event, Jey Uso, the champion, taking on the challenger of Gunther, the Ring General. This is a really great back and forth. This is probably the best of the 3 encounters that these two have had. I purged the Saturday night's main event one from my memory because that one was not good because they were rushed for time. But this one was fantastic. I was kind of surprised, not really once I sat and thought about it, but yeah, Gunther ends up choking out Jey to become our new World Heavyweight Champion. So I'm like, cool. Here's my issue with it. I figured Jey wasn't going to have it for long. I knew he wasn't going to have it for long. The lengthy title reign was not in his future, but his run as champion was okay at best. I feel like I wish they gave him something more to do. But you know what? I still enjoyed it. He had a good time. He got himself over leading into him being champion and then being champion. It was great. Gunther is a great wrestler. He is fantastic in the ring. I'm upset if the rumor is true that the reason we put the belt back on him is so this championship could be put on the line against Goldberg at Saturday night's main event in Atlanta, which is some bullshit if it's true. I'm just like, don't do this. Here's the thing. Nobody in my right mind has reached the level to be like, outside of maybe getting a rematch from Jey. I'm like, who else have you built up to really challenge Gunther? There's only one person. And I love Jey. Jey versus Gunther at SummerSlam would be kind of fun just for the spectacle of it. But if you really want to give me a good 5-star wrestling match and you want somebody to go to war with Gunther, then that SummerSlam opponent, I love Jey. He should not have been that mystery opponent for King of the Ring. I'm going to be completely real with you. I love Jey. He should not be in this tournament, especially if the reports are true that him and Jimmy might be reuniting for a tag team run in some capacity. Whatever. Fine. That mystery opponent should have been, especially if the reports are true that he is ready and he is healed to go. You give me Gunther at SummerSlam. You give me Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship against the challenger and winner of King of the Ring, Ilya Dragunov. That is the one person on my mind that will save this summer for me. I love Jey, but I do not want another Gunther versus Jey build to SummerSlam. Like, that is not what I want. And nobody else on this Raw roster has been built up. Maybe an AJ Styles, but AJ's kind of been floundering, not giving anything else. Ilya is my savior right now. He needs to come back and save my summer for me because Raw is looking rough right now.
You know, a lot of the Jey's critics are saying that he only has 3 moves. He should never have won the title. He only has 3 moves. Oh, can't wrestle, blah, 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 blah. Gunther has a chokeout and a chop. Because that's all that comes to mind right now. Gunther's character is not well written enough outside of being a champion. He's a heel champion, and that's what they want to push him as. And that's that's the only thing so far that I've seen since coming back to WWE.
But that's what I'm saying. He needs an opponent that can take him to those different avenues. Because just love me. Listen, I love this Raw roster. I really, really do. I think all the men on this roster are very talented and they bring different things, which makes it very fun to watch. But if you want to get somebody who knows Gunther, has that similar style, because Gunther to me has to kind of pull back a little bit because he can't full European wrestle and strong style, British strong style on people because they haven't been trained in that. Ilya knows Gunther because he was raised in that similar environment. Just let Ilya and Gunther smack the crap out of each other and go British strong style, European strong style, Russian strong style, if you will, and just like destroy each other. That's what I'm saying. Gunther needs an opponent that will allow him to go all out and go more with his stiff style. WWE has trained a lot of these wrestlers to wrestle safe, which is fine, but I want the black and gold NXT UK when he was Walter, and when he transitioned to Gunther, he had to tone it down a little bit. So I digress. Gunther is the new World Heavyweight Champion. We shall see who he ends up fighting at SummerSlam. This is going to be a long summer. So that ends Raw. Let's get through SmackDown because SmackDown, women, yay. Tag team division, yay. Men's division, we're going to get into all that. So SmackDown opens up the same way Raw did this week with the John Cena promo. I'm just like, Lord have mercy. He gave us the same thing on Raw, just with different coat of paint. But this time we had lots of people come out. We had Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton and LA Knight. They all want a piece of Cena, and they're all in the qualifying matches for King of the Ring. They all get into an argument. Cena goes to leave. Ron Killings comes and attacks Cena and jumps in, which was great. Very standard promo opening. We get, again, LA Knight has to go through a nightmare. He has to kill the Viper, and he wants a piece of John Cena. So I'm like, yeah, that sums up this promo very well. So, Ron, we're going to talk about you later because not only did you jump Cena once, you jumped him twice in this episode, which was great. Here's my problem, Kilt, with this picture, right? Don't get me wrong. I love me some Randy Orton. I really do. Also, LA Knight kind of be looking like Zaddy in this picture. Not even gonna lie. I'm like, hello.
Oh, that's why I couldn't remember this match because it was Randy Orton match. We already knew Randy Orton was going to win.
Therein lies the problem. Listen, I love me some
I forgot that LA Knight was in this match. I literally, I remember. I completely blanked on this because I didn't remember. And then as soon as I see this card, I'm like, oh, Melo got his ass handed to him. LA Knight tried to perform and basically was it looked like he was not sidelined, but like held back a little bit. Aleister Black was Aleister Black, and then Randy Orton won.
I was just like, listen, I know there might be some like visa travel stuff that we have to work out. Again, we don't know who's going to the finals at Night of Champions, but I'm just like, you could have had something fun. You could have had Melo make an upset. You could have had Aleister give him something to do for a little bit before, knocking him out in the next round. To me, Randy did not win. And again, I love me some Randall Keith Orton. I love him dearly, and he will forever listen. This version of Randy is fun. I love me dad joke, not serious, gaming nerd Randy Orton. I'm like, how you drop Elden Ring in a promo just because you can? Like, that's iconic behavior to me. But this was predictable. He did not need to win. I'm sorry. This was a boring choice. I love you, Randy.
It was extremely boring.
It's a boring choice. It's so predictable and it's not fun.
It's not like having LA Knight want to win. That would have been great because he deserves something this big. Having Melo win, that would have pushed Melo so much further. And I think he deserves that now. He's gone. He did the Amazing Truth. Or not Amazing Truth. Sorry, that's someone else. The Melo Miz, and that was a great run.
Him and their best of like 100 series was fantastic too.
Melo does deserve this elevation, and I think he would have been great. Actually, in all honesty, I don't know. And some people might say he's a mid carder. Some people might say he's a main eventer. What I don't really care a shit. Yeah, make him go after a run for the American title.
Seriously, like Melo, I feel like has been on this main roster long enough. You could start pushing him to the mid card title feud. Him versus Jacob Fatu would kind of slap, not even gonna lie. But we probably won't get that until the fall because Jacob has to finish dealing with Solo and this nonsense we're gonna talk about in a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna talk about it in a little bit. But Randy wins. He moves on to the semifinals. He is going to be facing off against. He's going to be going up against. He's going up against Sammy. So I'm excited for that matchup. Sammy,
it's a great matchup. That's
all I'm going to say. But Sammy better win. I do not need Randy going to Saudi again.
Here's what's going to happen. Randy's going to win. We want Sammy to win. Yes, we do. We want Sammy to win. We know Randy's going to win. It's going to be. It's frustrating, but it's like we know it. It sucks, and I hate it, and I want it so badly to be Sammy because I want to see Sammy in Saudi Arabia again, speaking to the crowd in I think it's Farsi. I always forget what language it is because there's so many over there. especially if he were to win and Sammy were to be king of the ring and be crowned that, he could literally cut his own intro right then and there in Arabic.
In the language, yep. Anyways, again, I love Randy. I will always love Randy. This 2025 Randy is great. But booking, you could have picked somebody else. That's all I'm saying. Like, anyways. So, Jacob Fatu, you are amazing. On gas, no break. Yaramin, love you. We need to be done with this, like, immediately. I need Jacob to destroy Solo and then let it be done.
It should have been more done at fucking Money in the Bank. There should have been a lot going on then.
By the way, I'm mad at that it was only during that match we got the funny Solo Sikoa, because that Solo Sikoa was great. I love that one where he's allowed to be a little goofball. I hate this serious one that he's trying to be. Also, what the hell is JC Mateo wearing over his eyes? Like, what the fuck in the Zorro cosplay is this? Like, what is this nonsense? I hate this for Jacob. I hate this for Solo and JC. I hate this for everybody involved. Solo needs to be. We need to, like, Jacob, we need to be done with this. You need to destroy Solo and that be the end of it. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the feud leading into SummerSlam, but I'm like, I don't care enough. Anyways, we move on. So, for whatever reason, Chelsea Green could not be at SmackDown, and she's somehow the Fire and Piper Niven are on the phone with Chelsea, and Nick Aldis hangs up on Chelsea and tells
it was so great.
And tells both Piper and Alba that they're both going to be in the Queen of the Ring qualifying matches tonight. And I believe Alba's taking the place of Chelsea. So that's great in all this. And so they go off. And then this is what I wanted to see, because Miss Zelina Vega has been off of our screen. She's been feuding with Chelsea, which is not a bad thing. But they don't let her, like, we haven't seen her do anything much of substance. However, we were starting to build to this. And this is leading into something, because then Zelina, our Women's United States champion, comes in and she says that, hey, I have some business to talk with you, Nick. I want you to give me Julia and I will put this title on the line. And Nick's like, all right, bet. So I was like, yes, we're doing some progression. Julia versus Zelina. I'm here for this. Thank you for finally giving Zelina something to do. That match is going to be fun, but I'm worried. I was like, don't take it off Zelina quickly, but we shall see. So I'm excited. Give me Julia and Zelina. That I'm okay with. Progressing this storyline finally, so Zelina's not just sitting at home or doing pre-tape promos.
Yes, let's do this.
Yes. Yo, this match also kind of slapped. Not even gonna lie. So this was the first Queen of the Ring to qualifying tournament match, which saw Jade Cargill, Piper Niven, Nia Jax, and Michin. I thought this was a lot of fun. Jade Cargill pulling out the win and moving on to the semifinals. I was just like, you go, girl. Black girl. # Black Girl Magic.
Yes.
This was a good one. My favorite one comes later, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no notes. This was great. I thought everybody worked very well. Surprisingly, I have missed Nia Jax on my screen. She was off of television for enough time for be like, I wonder what she's doing. And now she's slowly coming back. I was like, you know what, girl? I missed you. It's been a couple weeks. I'm glad you're back. So we move on. This was a fun one. Naomi. Yes, girl. I hate that the Cash App is on the logo of this briefcase, but yes, girl. I want to shout out Big E, because he gave me the history lesson over Money in the Bank weekend and reminded me and the rest of the people watching at home that Naomi is the first woman of color or the first Black woman to win the women's Money in the Bank briefcase. I was like, oh shit, that's right. So Bianca hasn't won it either. Has never won it, which is crazy to me now that I think about it.
Fuck yeah.
I was like, oh shit, that's right. Bianca has never won Money in the Bank. So Naomi has done something that Bianca has yet to do. Bianca has never won Money in the Bank, but I digress. Naomi cuts this promo and she's like, you know what? I'm not even going to make y'all wait. I'm going to go after Tiffany. So Tiffany, you're on borrowed time, girl. I'm going to come for you. Tiffany comes in and they actually have a really good back and forth. I was like, yes, Tiffany, when you are given somebody to go back and forth with, like, it's actually pretty good. And then Nia Jax comes in to try to sneak attack Tiffany. But this is the other thing I love. Tiffany's like, I knew this was happening. And she was prepared and she fought Nia Jax. Naomi standing there with the briefcase. Nia looks at Tiffany, looks at Naomi, and is just like, I ain't getting in the middle of this. So it doesn't matter if I destroy Tiffany because I want this title and I ain't going to give you a reason to do it. So Nia Jax backs off. Naomi is running around with his money in the bank in the briefcase. And I was just like, yes. I mean, exactly, right here.
Oh, I got something for that. This suit, ma'am. Let me talk to Jimmy, Big Jim, Big Oos. God,
juicy.
Damn, you got a girl. God damn, she has amazing outfits. Like this whole razor blade morph has been amazing, and I love everything
that she's been doing with these razor blades is great. Like, Proceed with Caution is such a great character for her. I'm excited. Naomi as Miss Money in the Bank is going to be a fun run. Cannot wait to see what happens. So, I actually really like this tag team match because, the Wyatt Six are actually back on my TV screen wrestling now. So, before this match happens, we get a recap of what's been going down. The SmackDown Tag Team Division, well, let me actually correct it. Street Profits, Fraxium, Motor City Machine Guns, they're like, nah, we can't let the Wyatt Six be running this tag team division. Like, we all gotta band together. Otherwise, they're gonna pick us off one by one. And who's not down with the cause, as they aren't going to be because they're being chicken shit heels, is DIY. DIY is like, nah, fuck all that. We ain't about to get involved with it. And I was like, y'all gonna get destroyed. We're gonna watch from backstage. And I was just like, they're gonna come for you eventually, boys. So be prepared. This is a really fun match. I do not mind that Motor City Machine Guns lost this one because it's continuing the story where the Wyatt Six want to put the tag team division on blast. So they're going to take out the tag teams one by one. And unfortunately, Motor City Machine Guns was the first one to go down. So next, I expect it to be Fraxium to go down. And then ultimately, if that means we get a tag team championship match between Wyatt Six and the Street Profits, I'm in, like, for reals. This is how you do the tag team division right. Take notes, Rod, because y'all fucking up the vibe over there. Anyhow, we move on. This was a fun interaction. John's like, yo, have you seen Truth? And Jimmy's like, nah, bro, I ain't seen him. You need to go find him. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to do one better. If Ron wants to find me, he could come meet me in this ring. And meet him in the ring, he kind of did, because Punk comes out, says the truth hurts, doesn't it? And then we get Ron putting Cena in the STFU lock, which was great. This was great, and ultimately, this is also fantastic, because this leads into Nick Aldis making John Cena versus Ron Killings official for next week.
That made me happy. And it's like, my thing was, Jim's like, the fuck you talking to me for? I don't give a shit. Fuck off. That's basically how it was. Like, I'm gonna hear. Go do your thing. Leave me alone. It's like, I don't want to be bothered with you. And then that line, the truth hurts, doesn't it? It's such a good line. And then this was given to us, and I'm like, yes, I want this. Give me more. Anything else? May I have seconds and thirds and fifths and 11sies, please?
No, so I'm interested to see how this happens, what happens, like what's going down with all of that. So this is going to be interesting next week. This was my favorite Queen of the Ring this week and my favorite qualifying match of the whole entire week. Because, so Alba Fire replaces Chelsea Green, which I miss Chelsea, but I think Alba was a great addition to this match. Candice is always great. Alexa was able to win this match and not Charlotte Flair. So I was like, oh.
Thank the wrestling gods.
But Alexa and Charlotte kind of be beefing, and I'm kind of here for it.
So am I.
Alexa's like, listen, I'm trying to be your friend here, but you don't want to listen to me. So Alexa's like, fine, I'm going to take this win. And she took this win. And I was like, yes, Alexa, I love you.
So, and I love the way that the win was, because it was like, Charlotte had someone was trying to submit someone. I don't remember if it was which one was it, but Alexa just comes and pins someone 1, 2, 3, and as the person that Charlotte is pinning is about to tap out, it's like, yes, I like that. Now Charlotte's going to be a little bit probably and cry about it later, but who knows? We'll see.
So Alexa's moving on to the semifinals, and if the world is correct, I am really hoping that it is going to be Alexa versus Asuka, which is a match I want to see so bad. Like, honestly. Oh, this is going to be fantastic. But yes. And then this was our main event, and I was utterly disappointed. Again, same thing applies with Randy, LA, Carmelo, and Alistair. I love Cody Rhodes. I really, really do. Why did Cody need to win is beyond me, but I digress. I'm mad that Shinsuke's back and we're still not doing anything with him. Like, I'm mad. You could have had Shinsuke at least go on to the semis.
I skipped to, I was kind of, I was doing my skipping through because I wasn't interested because, most of the time SmackDown's a letdown except for the tag teams. And so I get to, I see Cody enter, I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm skipping, and I skip a little too far, and then all of a sudden see Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm like, the fuck is Shinsuke Nakamura and Cody fighting for? I didn't realize it was a King of the Ring tournament match. And then Andrade came out, and then here comes Damian Priest. I'm like, okay, I kind of like this match. And then Cody wins, and I'm like, okay, that was kind of predictable. It was relatively okay. It wasn't wasn't great, but what the fuck? It's like, hey, this is the first time I've seen Shinsuke in who knows how long, and he's in a tournament match and he loses, and I'm like, I'm a little weirded out by this. We should have had a little bit more from Shinsuke, but okay.
Well, here's the thing, too. So Cody wins. He's moving on to the semifinals, which means that Cody is going to be representing SmackDown in the semifinals, and he's either going up against Rusev, Sheamus, Big Bronson Reed, or probably who's end up going to win that final qualifier on tomorrow night on Monday is Jay. So Cody versus Jay would be interesting. I'm going to be real. I would love to see Jay beat Cody and move on to the finals and have it be Sammy versus Jay, which would be fantastic. But I wanted Shinsuke. You could have picked Damian. You could have picked, I'm going to be honest, any of these three I would have been okay with. Cody doesn't need the win, just like Randy doesn't need the win. But you know what? Cody Rhodes wins. He's going to the semifinals to face the winner of the final men's Raw qualifier, which we'll know who represents Raw in that semifinal tomorrow night. So that brings us to the end of WWE. My final analysis for this week is that the women delivered and the men were want. So we are building to Night of Champions. Hopefully they get their stuff together and figure out what is going to go down with all of that. So that brings us to the end of our Dual Dynasty review. Before we go, I do want to mention, since it is Sunday, I would like to give you a preview as to what the remainder of the week entails for us here at BC WrestlePod. Tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, the Strong Style Syndicate is back in full effect as myself and Adolfo will be reviewing the New Japan Dominion pay-per-view. This is a very solid show, and we're going to talk about it. There's lots of new champions in Japan, so this is going to be fun. Cannot wait to talk about that. So that is tomorrow. This is tomorrow. On Tuesday, the All Elite Ensemble review. So our AEW review team, it will be here to review AEW Summer Blockbuster, which was a 4-hour television special. And we will also be previewing this upcoming week as AEW heads to Mexico. And it is a full CMLL and AEW crossover week, which is going to be a lot of fun. So there's going to be a lot of Lucha Libre action. And we're going to have our own Worlds Collide review squad down the line for it as well. Then on Wednesday, we get a double dose of reviews. First at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern is the NXT Losos crew. We are back to weekly NXT reviews, so we will be reviewing this episode of NXT. And then later in the evening at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern is Los Lobos de la Lucha, your weekly CMLL review team at BC WrestlePod. I am excited with all of that. So that's going to be fun. Then on Thursday, we are bringing back the Ring Rats and Riot Acts, which is crazy given the situation that's going on in the United States right now. As Andrew and I will be reviewing our second Defy Wrestling pay-per-view event, which was Defy's Vortex, in which we saw the Defy debut of Cedric Alexander, which makes me super excited. Then on Friday, the Los Lobos de la Lucha crew will be doing a live watch-along for CMLL and New Japan's Fantastica Mania, which is going to have CMLL, New Japan, AEW, Ring of Honor, Rev Pro in the UK, and New Japan Strong, which is the US subsidiary of New Japan. We all got matches happening. We're doing a live watch-along at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be fun. Please, 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 please do so. All right. So then finally on Sunday, once again, the Dual Dynasty crew will be back. We will be covering Raw and SmackDown. And I believe, if I am correct in my thinking, I think we'll also be doing predictions for Night of Champions, because I think the following later in the week on Saturday is the pay-per-view, but we'll see what happens with all of that. But yeah, so that's it for us here at Dual Dynasty. So overall, this was a very up and down show, but you know what, Kills? I'm happy that you are here. I'm glad that you were here to review it with me, because I didn't want to do this by myself.
Yeah, well, if Professor hadn't called out, I probably would have, because I was like, "Oh God, I really don't feel like it today."
Yeah.
But no. Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
It happened. No, absolutely. But that's going to be it. We got to go. So from all of us here at BC WrestlePod, remember to take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will catch you later. But until then, sayonara, adios, and we'll talk to you later.